Hey guys!
Hello!
Welcome to this open house, digital, live from Logosol headquarters in Härnösand.
Yeah.
We are really excited to host this open house today. Andreas here with my colleagues.
Anton.
Pelle.
We are going to walk you through all of our products, almost all.
Almost all.
We're going to have a look at the chainsaw mills and the CH3 planer molder, and also the Bandsaw mill line that we have. So stay tuned for that, but we have some exciting news as well.
Yeah.
We have the campaign live.
Wow.
The spring campaign. Check it out. Head over to logosol.com to find all great offers that we have on our almost all products.
Yeah.
Or what do you say about 12.5% on chainsaw mills?
I would say that it gives an amazing opportunity to invest in your own sawmill.
Yeah.
It's really a great spring campaign.
Yeah.
Probably the best we've had ever. It's the best.
I think we can stand by saying that surely it's the best.
It's the best. So here's campaign video. Wow,
That's some great offers.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that we had a 10% discount on the B751 as well.
Yes.
That's also great.
Incredible.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's head over to the chainsaw mills. We have set up an F2 and an F2 Plus chainsaw mill over here that we are going to give you a full demo of. We're going to talk about all the pros about the F2 and F2 Plus chainsaw mills, all the different accessories, electric chainsaw mills, petrol chainsaw mills, and also the new cool remote feed for the petrol powered chainsaw. So, but first we actually have another video.
Yeah.
From this guy Daniel Tholén. In Umeå, he helped a friend out taking down some trees and milled them up to what do you say? Cladding, paneling.
Yeah, cladding, yeah.
Mitt namn är Daniel Tholén. Jag är snickare och inspiratör på sociala medier och Youtube. Idag har jag blivit kallad upp till Umeå till en god vän som behöver rensa lite skog för att kunna bygga upp ett gästhus och bastu och en liten relax. Och vi försöker förbättra utsikten. Och samtidigt som vi tar ner träden så planerar vi att såga upp virket till användbart virke. Och i det här fallet så tror jag att vi ska försöka använda det till panel till hela gästhuset. Inledningsvis började jag såga för att jag skulle ha användning av virket. Men successivt så övergick det mer och mer till någon aktiv meditation för mig. För att egentligen hade jag inget behov av det virket jag sågade vidare. Men glädjen av och lukten av att få stå i en fin miljö och skapa virke är så viktig för mig. Så att egentligen sågar jag mer för rekreation än vad jag sågar för behov i dagsläget faktiskt. Glädjen i att såga upp virke var så stor så att när mina egna vindfällor tog slut så bad jag faktiskt om virke och framförallt kanske av någon ädlare valör än tall och gran för att få fortsätta såga. Jag skulle ha något att göra på söndagarna när det var bra väder på vintern. I grunden så är jag ju snickare och började för några år sedan att inspirera och tipsa på Youtube. Och det har blivit större och större för att feedbacken som kommer tillbaka av att skapa en känsla av att kunna göra det själv har blivit otroligt rolig. Så att, jag hoppas kunna fortsätta att inspirera och tipsa på Youtube för en lång tid framöver. Här stod det vad vi kallade för en trollskog som var helt omöjligt att se igenom egentligen. Och för att skapa förutsättningar för att få fram utsikt ifrån det som ska bli ett gästhus där så var vi tvungna att plocka ner det. Och att kunna använda sig av virket som står här för att faktiskt bygga det gästhuset, det är ju det man drömmer om. Tanken är ju att till en början göra panel till hela den nya fastigheten. Och det ska ju hålla oss likt panelen som är på ursprungshuset här. Och det kommer att bli 1 tum 6 kommer jag att försöka få ut så mycket som möjligt. Och det här som ligger här, det är ju gott och väl panel till en ganska stor byggnad. Så att vi får se. Det kanske blir lite regelvirke sen när jag väl känner mig nöjd med panelen. Det är nog 50-50. Jag skulle säga att vi har nog fått ner 50% gran, 50% tall skulle jag tro. Och planen är att det här ska slås upp redan till våren. Så det hinner ju inte torka särskilt länge. Men så länge det får lufta där det sitter så funkar det alldeles utmärkt. Och det kanske inte är läge att färdigmåla det redan första säsongen utan låta det torka klart på plats. Och att få sitta på plats gör ju att det kommer heller inte att vrida sig särskilt mycket när det är fastspikat.
Welcome back. So as you can see here, we have the same sawmill as Daniel in the movie had. So we have the remote feed for the petrol chainsaw, for the MS661 steel chainsaw that we mounted here. We have a bar nose steering for the guide bar to hold the guide bar tip. And we have the F2 chainsaw mill, the perfect one-man sawmill. So now I thought we could start making a cut so you can see how this feed system works for the chainsaw. It's actually been a product that we've been asked about quite a lot previously because we have a lot of customers using the big chainsaws on their chainsaw mills. So I'll start it up.
Wow, Pelle.
Great cut.
Yeah,
That's a great piece of equipment right there.
For
the
sure.
remote feed for the petrol chainsaw. So nice to not have to walk in both the exhaust fumes
Yeah.
and the sawdust.
yeah.
Works really well and probably works on a lot of different chainsaw mills as well.
For sure. It's actually, and you still get the same feeling as you run it manually. So you get the same kind of feeling on the resistance.
Yeah.
So you can feel really well how the chainsaw is working through the material.
Yeah. So you can see it's a feed chain, and you have a sprocket on each end. And then you attach each of the chain ends to the bracket here, which mounts on the saw carriage. And here you can see you have the throttle here. So when you push that down, the throttle on the saw will be held in and you have full throttle. And you just release once you've gotten through the cut. So this is a really neat accessory for the chainsaw mill.
So Pelle, talk us through the F2 chainsaw mill.
Yeah, so the F2 chainsaw mill that we have here is the 4-meter version. So it's 4 meters in length. You have 2 log lifters, and the adjustments here on the log lifters, every step that we raise or lower the log lifter is a 1/4 inch, which is the same as the curve of the ripping chain. So if you, for example, want to cut a 1-inch board, you raise it 5 clicks. Then you take into account the curve of the chain as well. So then you get a 1-inch board. And if you want to cut a 2-inch board, you raise it 9 clicks on each lifter. And you can see here when we raise it, if you film here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we do the same on the other lifter here. There. So now we're ready to make the next cut, and then we'll get a 1-inch board. We could actually probably, if we wanted to as well, we could flip this over and just cut it all the way down if we wanted to. It doesn't really matter. Once we have a cant like this, we can make a few cuts and then turn it over. And you have these, on the F2, you have these 2 log clamps. So they're basically an extender. So you push it against the material and then you clamp this handle and then it'll be pushed forward. And this is actually, once you get down in size, you just tilt it downwards and you end up, the final board that you end up with is always a 2-inch board on the F2.
But those clamps come included with the F2 chainsaw mill.
Yes. You get one of these for each lifter, so they're included. And you can also, we have extended versions of these, so if you want to cut longer length, you can cut, we have a 5-meter version, and on the 5-meter version, the second and third lifter will only be 1 meter apart. So that also allows you to cut short pieces if needed and full-length materials as well. It's actually a very popular model, the 5-meter. And if you have a 6-meter one, you have 2 meters between all the lifters. And we even have clients that put several mills together. A lot of times if they are building log houses, so they need long length and it's a big sized house. So we have, you can basically add as you go with this sawmill, which is really good. And it's easy, it's lightweight, it's made out of aluminium, so it weighs about 60 kilos. So it's easy to move with you or take with you. you can probably the easiest way to move this is if you have a normal trailer, put it fully mounted on the trailer and tow it away.
What about the log dimensions on the F2?
The maximum size on the F2 in terms of diameter is 50 centimeters. So it's a decent sized log you can handle on the F2 as well. And if you go up and need to be able to process larger logs, then we'll look at the F2 later on, which can handle quite a bit bigger logs. So this is probably the product that, well, this is the product that we've had for the longest. We started with these in 1989, and this is this the 11th and 12th version of the
We had the
chainsaw.
M8, the F1, 10th or 11th
10th or 11th, yeah.
generation of the chainsaw mills. So we've put a lot of time and effort into perfecting them as well, adding new features with each version. And today we have these F2 and F2 Plus chainsaw mills, which are really nice and mills that we are proud to have.
For sure.
Let's head over to the F2 Plus. We have an F2 Plus here. Anton, will you talk us through the difference between the F2 Plus and the F2?
Of course. It's a bigger, and you can basically say that it's a bigger and sturdier version of the F2. So instead of being able to handle logs up to 50 centimeters in diameter, with this one you can handle logs up to 70 centimeters in diameter. And you also have some extra distance here, so if the log is crooked, you can still handle it easily. When it comes to the accessories for the chainsaw mills, they are about the same. And as you can see, for this one we have the ES5 electrical motor, a 4.6 kilowatt electrical motor with the distance feeding, but this time for the electrical sawing unit. The height system is the same, really simple and easy to use with fixed steps. So as Pelle said, if you want to cut a 1-inch board, it's 4 steps for the board and then 1 extra to compensate for the curve of the cut of the guide bar. With the F2 Plus, you can also release the rail from the log lifts in order to make the storage easier. So that's also a really neat function. It's a little bit heavier, but about 65 kilos in its normal length. This is an extended version, so this one is 5 meters with 3 log lifts, as you can see. And Pelle mentioned that you can get this 1 meter distance between 2 of the lifts in order to be able to handle shorter bits. And here we can see that. So it's a very, a multi-function sawmill. I mean, it's so practical to use. You can use it for many things. It's lightweight, easy to use, and very sure in terms of the result as well. Yeah.
We can also mention that the sawing units, the electric chainsaw, the petrol chainsaw carriage, everything will fit both the F2 and F2 Plus. All the accessories that fits the F2 will fit the F2 Plus as well.
So completely
and of course,
interchangeable.
Yeah, exactly. And we had a great comment from in our YouTube chat, and that was about the electric chainsaw. Of course, it is a great opportunity to have the electric version if you're able to, instead of having a petrol chainsaw mill. Having a 3-phase motor like this will soon demo that as well, without the fumes and less noise. It's a great option. And of course, being able to offer the petrol chainsaw as well, if you're not able to have an electric chainsaw.
We can also mention that the carriage for the petrol saw, for the chainsaw, is always included with the sawmill. So even if you buy a package with an electrical sawmill, with electrical saw, you also get the carriage for the chainsaw. So if needed, if you need to go somewhere else and work, you can always take your own chainsaw and mount it on the sawmill, even though you bought the package with the electrical saw.
A lot of different options.
Many.
So should we turn this log around
Yeah.
and make a cut from the other side perhaps?
And here we have our log turner.
And as we mentioned before, the chainsaw mills are all at the 12.5% discount during the spring campaign.
Den här var lite satt, den var klämd nu. It gets a bit stuck here when we turned it.
Ah, okay.
Thank you.
A nice thing about the Logosol chainsaw mills is actually the ability to be able to handle the log all from a very good position. So I think we should mention the ergonomics of it. It's very easy to handle the log when you have it right here and you are operating the saw from here.
Yeah.
So very, very easy to go from milling to turning the log and go back again. So that's actually one of the many benefits of a Logosol chainsaw mill.
And we can also throw it out there again that right now we have a 12.5% discount on all chainsaw mills. So really hefty discount.
So now we've actually turned the log around. There is one important thing to think about, and that is to put the log lifters in the same height. Because when we have the unprocessed log, we can have the log lifters in different heights, which is beneficial to get the core in line with the guide rail. But now we have a milled side, we need to have them flat on the same height. So let's check that before we...
We can take one lift each.
5 inch or
Yeah,
4 3/4 or 5.
Is it? Let me see here.
So the more...
Oh, there. There
Oh,
it is.
okay, and this is 5 as well. Huh?
Did you take 5?
Yeah.
Okay. There.
Okay, great. So now when we have them level, we know that what we get out is actually straight and not like a
Tapered.
tapered. Exactly. So
I'm ready.
go ahead, Anton. We had some more reactions from the YouTube chat. It's actually a greeting from Spain. Lumber prices are really high in Spain, and I don't expect them to drop down. Having our own sawmill is really important for anyone interested in having affordable lumber at any time. Great solutions. Bioconstrucción con paja.
Compaja. Taller Caruna.
Great. And then we have a...
We actually had a chat the other day.
Okay.
Yeah. So, hi.
So that's the electric chainsaw, and with the remote feed. And same as with the petrol version,
Yep.
we have either the remote feed, or you can choose a simpler version where you actually walk along the sawmill with the hand crank. So there are several options to fit different needs, actually.
We can also mention that we have two versions of the electrical motor. The ES5 with 4.6 kilowatt and the ES8 with 8 kilowatt.
Exactly. And we also have another equipment that we're actually not showing here. We have the log molder. So that's a good solution if you're building log homes and want to make your own timber framing. So, what do we have more on the chainsaw mills? Anything you want to add, Anton?
I think we have done a complete demo of the sawmill.
Pelle?
Well, we can mention the different feed units maybe. We have a few different types of feed units for the
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we have this remote feed available, and we have the crank feed, if you follow.
Yeah.
And so you can, when you use the remote, did you mention this? Or?
Yeah, Andreas just mentioned it.
Sorry, I apologize.
But it's good.
It's always good to repeat.
It's important information.
Yeah. So it's a very variable sawmill, you could say. You can really adjust it for your needs and your projects.
Yeah.
You can extend it. You can have different motor units, different feeding units, and form the sawmill after the needs of your project.
Yeah.
It's very versatile.
Versatile and modular, which makes it very good.
Yeah, that's also important to mention. It's modular, so all the accessories and extensions you can install on, as you go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's good to mention. You
Yeah.
can start with the 4-meter chainsaw mill, and then you can add on extensions, additional sawing units, other accessories, etc. So that's good to mention. Let's head over to the planer molder next. If you don't have any more questions about the chainsaw mills, we have a short video on the CH3, and let's head over there.
Yeah. Kläm ihop det så fall lite mer.
Ja, här står det.
Ställ det på bakom.
Lite väl.
Okej, nu vill jag...
Hey, welcome back! Here we are with Pelle and Anton at the CH3 planer molder.
Yeah.
And did you know that we have a campaign running? We have the spring campaign. If you
Yeah.
head over
Yep.
to logosol.com, you can see all the great deals we have on chainsaw mills, bandsaw mills, and our planer molder.
And many accessories as well.
Yeah.
Pelle, what do we have especially on the CH3?
Yeah, the offer we have now on the CH3 is that you get 50% off on the chip extraction package. So that includes the 2.2 kilowatt chip extractor here we have with twin bags, 240 liters each. And this one runs on 3-phase, 400 volts, 50 hertz. And also hoses to connect to the CH3. So you have one hose for each outlet, and you have 3 outlets, one for each cutter head.
But Pelle, what is the CH3?
So the CH3 is our 3-sided planer molder. So we have, if we come in closer here, we have 2 side spindles, one adjustable that sets the final width, and then we have a top horizontal block for planing and molding. Because in these empty slots, you can mount molding knives, so you can produce a lot of different profiles. And today I thought we should make a skirting board. So we're going to start preparing for that. But before we do that, if we zoom in on the panel here, you can see that there's a tortoise and there's a rabbit. And that's the 2 feed speeds that you can set this machine to. So the tortoise means 3 meters a minute, and the rabbit is 6 meters a minute. And it's depending on what you're doing. If you're just taking one face off and just planing the surface and taking off a few millimeters, you can run at the fast speed. And if you do deeper moldings, it's better to run at the slower rate so you get more cuts. And here is where you set the height adjustment on the machine. So on the front here you have a magnetic scale here, and that's where you set the rough thickness, and on the top here you make the fine tuning. So one full turn here is 4 millimeters, and then a quarter, you can see it's a millimeter, and then it goes down to half a millimeter and less than that. So you can really fine tune if needed. And it's the same here for the crank for the adjustable side spindle here. So you use it the same way. What else? So in this machine you have 3 normal feed rollers, and then after the material has been planed, the rubber roller is the outfeed roller that doesn't leave any marks. And we use the TB90 blocks on the side spindles, so that means you can just change the different types of molding knives in these. And if you want to mount, for example, molding knives here in the top block, you slide them down and then you just decide where they should sit here, and then you use a 10 millimeter spanner to secure them. So I thought we'd start out with the pre-planing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start with running the back side of the board. So what we begin with is measuring the width of the board. So it's about 128 millimeters. Yeah, about 128 millimeters. and the thickness on this one is about 25 millimeters. And I thought we're going to make the final thickness 20 millimeters, so we can take it down to about 22 or 23 millimeters in the first pass. So we're going to adjust the thickness here to 20, about 23 there. So we have set the height now, and now we also have to adjust the front fence so it's in line with the second fence in the machine. And the easiest way to do this is just having something straight that you put against the fence here. And you loosen the crank, and then you make sure that it's in line there. Perfect. And the side spindles here are already mounted now. We have just a straight 50 millimeter molding knife in the fixed spindle, and in the adjustable spindle we have a knife making a little bit of chamfer where the skirting board meets the floor. And one thing with these that's actually very good to mention is if you mount a 40 millimeter molding knife, for example, if you're making a T&G, if you want to make a panel or something, if you lower the cutter block without any shims, because you have shims underneath here now, if you lower the block to the bottom, the center of the knives will be in line with the table. So that means that the T&G is also made in the center of the knife. And for example, if you want to make a 22 millimeter finished thickness on a T&G, you just have to put half of that underneath the cutter block. So you put 11 millimeters underneath, and then you get the T&G in the center of the board. But in this case, it's not going to be necessary because we're just doing a skirting board. So we do a straight face on one side and a chamfer on the other side. I'm just gonna get a little spanner. Loosen this. So you can secure this, the adjustable spindle on the shafts. So especially if you're doing deep moldings, so you reduce small vibrations, you can lock it on the shaft. But to be able to adjust it inwards and outwards, you have to undo it again. So now I know that the board we have here is about 128. So that means I'm just gonna put about 10 millimeters extra on the width here. So I'll put it about 138, just to make sure that the board will pass here with no problem, because I'm not going to use the side spindles in this pass. And then I'm going to mount these molding knives just to make a slight track inside on the back side of the board. This is usually more common when you do sidings, but I just wanted to show you a little bit. So we'll put this at about put it about 25 in there. There. So I put that about 25 mil inside of the fence here where the material will move. And then on the other knife that I'm mounting, I'm actually overlapping a little bit. So this knife, when I put that in here, I'm going to, I don't know if you can see here, I will overlap it about 10 millimeters, so just so I get a little bit of a wider track, and then secure it. Because it's very little protrusion on these knives, you don't get a lot of unbalance. There, so that's secured, there. And then now I'm actually ready for the first pass. So we'll close the lid, and you can see here you have a breaker here. So this is a safety breaker. It's so you have to change secure the hood here. Otherwise you can't start the machine. So that's a safety feature, and it's also in the front here. You have, if the material is too uneven, it will push out the plate and the safety breaker will stop the machine. So it's a multifunction breaker there. So we secure the lid. There. And then we start the chip extractor. Now we start the feed rollers. And then we start the top block. Perfect. So now we've made the first pass. There. And now we have to remove, because we don't want to use these in the second pass. So we just undo these and remove them. There. And now we're going to use the molding knife for the skirting board. So then on these we have to use 2 clamping gibs on these long ones. There. And what I want now is I want the rounding here to finish in line with the fence. And there's different. You can have a 90-degree, what do you call it? Angle meter, or yeah, angle meter to measure that, or just a little template that we made, so you can tilt that and make sure it's
Carpenter square?
carpenter square, exactly.
It looks so easy, Pelle.
It's actually once you've get the chance to do this a little bit, it's actually it's very easy, and we've actually put quite a lot of emphasis on that when we made this machine. There, and then we do the same on the other side here. There. There, so they're secure now. This one is secured. Remove this. And now we also want to set the final width here. So what you do then is you put the knife here in the middle where it has its deepest protrusion. And I usually break off these little measurer and use them. So we're going to finish this off at we can finish this at 120 mil there. So it's 120 mil to the fence here. And then on the fixed side, we want to make sure that we also get a smooth surface on the side of the boards. We have to move this fence a little bit inwards here. You can see when I put this knife here in the middle, I want a few millimeters so I get a new clean surface here, and then I secure it. Can actually take, because we're taking off a little bit more on this paws, so we can take a little bit extra there. There. And the final thing we have to adjust now is the height of the material. So now we're raising it to 20 millimeters and we're ready to go. And then you can put it here on 0 because you can turn this. So once you have, if you have to go back and forth a little bit with the pre-planing, it's good to, I usually just turn it like this and 0 it, because then I know once I get to the same position again, it's exactly the same thickness. And now we're ready to go. Now we're ready to do the second pass.
No, that didn't take much time at all.
And maybe five minutes or so.
So, and then the pre-planing first, where you set the correct thickness, and then you just reset it for the final pass.
Yes.
And of course, I mean, if we had a lot of boards to run through, we would run through everything.
Yeah, exactly.
First.
Yeah.
And then now we're doing the final
pass.
The final pass. Hmm?
And you can see I have a little bit more material on this side where we did the track. So I'm going to run the same side against the fence in this pass. So it'll be almost the same on both sides then. So I'll start up the chip extractor. Now we run at a slow speed.
That is super impressive. Pelle, what do you say about the increase in value? I mean, going from fresh cut timber and then making lumber out of that. But I mean, going from rough sawn boards to this.
Yeah, I mean, if you make, for example, obviously skirting boards demands that you have a very good quality on the so you might have to sort out the material that's being used for making skirting boards. But I mean, something like this might in Sweden, if you go and buy it, might cost around 100 Swedish per meter if you buy this. So I mean, the value that you get on the final product is
isn't it somewhere between 5 and 10 times?
Yeah, 5 and 10 times, yeah.
Something
depending
like
a
that.
little bit what you're
Depending
producing.
on what you're doing, of course. I mean,
so this is actually...
it's a money-making machine.
This is, if you can sell a bit of what you're producing, this is where you get a lot of value, the majority of the value actually, yeah.
It's a quite remarkable increase.
Yeah. So, and it's also, you can do a lot of things for the inside of a house if you want to redo a house and keep an old style, for example, and reproduce old profile that was in the building. We actually make a lot of custom-made molding knives for those kinds of projects. You don't have to use the standard profiles that we have. You can make custom ones that's very unique in a sense. It's usually a lot here in Sweden. We have different parts of Sweden have different types of moldings. It's probably the same globally a lot. So it's nice to be able to keep the same style from where you're actually,
where the house is and so on.
Yeah. So it's this is I think it's a fantastic machine. So I hope we sparked a lot of interest today.
Yeah. And it's in the spring campaign.
Yeah.
The deal right now, the discount is half price on the chip extractor package, together when purchasing a CH3 planer molder.
And it's actually a chip extractor will be needed. We can add that as well, because if you don't use a chip extractor with this machine or similar machines, the whole machine will fill up with wood chips, and you will basically get a lot of pressure marks, and the material can get stuck in the machine as well. So you have to have a suitable extractor for the machine.
Great. Thanks for the demo, Pelle.
Yeah.
We got some comments, questions in the chat. We have one question actually from James McEnany
Yeah.
Jr. How many board feet per hour can an F2 Plus using a steel 661 and 20-inch by 20-foot long white pine tractor assisted be expected to produce? I mean, we say I was just trying to calculate board feet.
Yeah.
I think we say somewhere around 3 cubic meters in a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like 8 hours with the petrol chainsaw mill.
Yeah.
And 3 cubic meters is about 1,200 board feet. So somewhere around those figures.
Yeah.
Tractor assisted or not, if you are one extra person, I would say that would probably speed it up more than
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
having of course a tractor for lifting and the logs on the mill and so on.
You can usually save a lot of time on the management of lumber.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
And if you're two, someone can take away the slabs and then the boards and everything, and someone can just operate the mill.
Yeah.
Speed it up.
That speeds it up. And then we had more of a comment from Rick Creel. He actually told a company ran sailing about our Bandsaw mills and how we have the best sawdust control. They are building a large boat in Sweden. They have to mill 3 metric miles of planks for the boat. 3 mil, 30,000 meters, linear meters, I guess. That's
quite
a big,
a lot.
that's a big boat.
Yeah.
And cool about the dust control, because we are heading over to the Bandsaw mills right now. So we'll actually start by having a look at the fan blades,
Yeah.
the fan wheels. But first, the sawmill video.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hi.
So that was a short introduction about Logosol and our sawmill line. As Rick Creel stated in the YouTube comments, we have a very good sawdust control on our Bandsaw mills, and that's thanks to these band wheels, and they are designed to work as fan wheels. The wheel spokes are turned 90 degrees, so we have a design that's similar to a fan wheel. And this helps us to keep everything inside of here really clean. And these wheels create a force that actually blows the sawdust out on the other end and keeps everything clean inside here. So that's actually very unique. I haven't seen it on any other bandsaw mill, and it is really nice to not have to open up and clean it up every once in a while, because now you can just keep on milling and milling, and it stays clean.
And that's what you want to do, right, with this? Mill and mill and mill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is the B751 bandsaw mill, which is Logosol's basic bandsaw mill. The B751 comes with a few different motor options. We have the 13 horsepower Briggs and Stratton motor, we have the 15 horsepower Lonkin, and we have the 4.6 kilowatt three-phase electric motor option. The B751 can handle logs up to 75 centimeters in diameter and a board width of, what is it? 60 centimeters. The design and the band wheel axles, and we have a very large tube that goes and keeps everything together. So when you tension the band wheel with several thousand kilos on the Logosol bandsaw mill, nothing happens. You just tension the blade. So it's a very robust construction and keeps everything together nice. So that's why we have this line going through the machine all the way from one band wheel to the other. On the inside here we have the indicator that shows you the correct blade tension, and we have a small orange disc showing us that this is tensioned correctly as it is right now. Very nice with the lid and the function of holding the lid up. Easy to change the blade, to do some maintenance going in here. And then we close the lid. Something else to mention, and this is actually all the things I mentioned already, is the same on all our bandsaw mills, the B751, the B751 Pro, and the 1001. Another thing to mention are these blade guide rollers that pushes the blade down to give it a good support when milling. The blade guide rollers are also adjustable. We can adjust them on all sides, up, down, and sideways, to give the blade the perfect setting so that we can mill absolutely straight. And of course this is very important with the bandsaw mill, that we can set the wheels and the blade guide rollers absolutely in line with the bandsaw mill, or with the rail of the bandsaw mill. I'm not going to show you the log clamps right now. Can you take a log clamp from that, because this is tensioned so well over here. But something that we are also very proud of is the log clamps that we have. These are patented log clamps that you use by putting them in this plate. You use this disc to take up the space between the log clamp and the log, and the handle to tighten and to clamp the log firmly. Every bandsaw mill comes with 2 of these log clamps. Thank you. The B751 can also hold a log molder. We have the LM410 log molder, which is a molder that can fit regular planer molder blades or straight planing knives. The LM410 will fit the B751 and the B751 Pro. We also have a bigger version that will the LM410 XL, which will fit the B1001. This can plane or mold really wide. It's a 410 millimeter cutter head on the B751 and the Pro. You can mill or plane 600 millimeters wide. On the B1001 you can plane up to 800 millimeters wide in two passes. Standard length is 4.8 meters, but of course it can be extended. The campaign deals, the discount on the B751 is an amazing 10%, which is huge.
Yeah.
Quite astonishing.
Pelle, I think we've actually set this up to
Yeah, we can make a
a pass. We'll just slide the opening.
But now when we're here,
Up.
we can also real quick mention another pretty neat feature, which is also the same on all bandsaw mills. The saw head itself is hanging in chains, which is very durable. And then the water cooling system.
Yeah, the chains are durable and also very exact.
Yeah. And also the water tank is in steel, so it doesn't crack in the sun or anything like that. So just two other really smart features of this bandsaw mill. And these things are also the same on all the bandsaw mill models.
We'll start it up. This is actually, you can feel it. And actually a good way of checking that you haven't pushed it too hard through the log when you're milling, or that the blades need to be resharpened, is that if you back it up in the same position that you can see that it
It follows the cut
the cut.
perfectly.
Yeah.
So that's a very good sign, as Pelle said, that you're not pushing it too hard and that you have actually set it up properly.
We didn't really talk about the height, the scale,
No,
and the
that's
steps on the sawmill.
Yeah.
No, not yet, but
Not yet.
we're getting there. I just thought that let's have a look at this planer while we have it here, and we've made the cut. We can just show the surface compared to. I mean, of course, this is a very nice.
Yeah, we can.
It's a very nice surface as it is, but this is quite interesting. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Huh? And we can actually see that we took away quite a lot of material just in one go. So it's a really powerful log molder. This is the electric version with the 4 kilowatt 3-phase motor, but of course it's available in petrol option as well. But that's quite nice to be like green wood.
Yeah, for sure.
And the petrol one has 9 horsepower, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as Anton was starting to mention before I interrupted him, was if we head over to this side. I mean, we looked at the fan wheels and the blade guides and everything. On this side, if we look at the other features of the Logosol Bandsaw mills, we have first of all the last cut indicator, which is a really cool feature. It remembers the last cut, so if we make our cut here, we go up, we go back, and then we go down again, we know that was where we did our last cut. So from here, if I want to go down, this is similar as on Logosol's chainsaw mills. It's based in steps. We have increments of 1/8 of an inch. So one full turn is 1 inch, and all the increments are 1/8 of an inch. So if we want to do a 1 inch board now, we go one full turn, which is there, and then we add 1 increment, and that's for the kerf. The kerf on a bandsaw blade is roughly 1/8 of an inch. So that's super easy and intuitive to use, and gives you the opportunity, and also having fixed steps will actually give you the same thickness again and again and again and again, compared to having others like a more stepless height system. So that's a huge advantage. So the repeatability in making the cuts. And then looking at the both of the scales, we have the scale where we can actually take out our boards, and in these measurements the kerf is included. So using this when milling makes it really easy, and you don't have to measure almost anything.
No.
No.
You can use the sawmill scales.
And then you can also make a forecast on what you will get out of the log.
Exactly. And yeah, you mentioned the aluminum water tank. Let's head over to the B751 Pro just to have a quick look on that. We haven't set it up, but just to show the differences between the B751 and the B751 Pro.
Så tråkigt ut.
So,
Yeah.
Anton.
Here we have it, the B751 Pro. So, in terms of the saw head, it's very similar to it's the same as the standard B751, but we can see that it has a sturdier and thicker rail, and this makes it so that you can have more accessories to it. Here we have added the manual log handling system, which is absolutely fantastic for log handling.
And they're also on the campaign.
Yeah, they're also on campaign. So right now we have great offers on these. And then you have a hook and a winch. And also, as you can see here, 2 ramps, which can help you get the log up on the sawmill. And then you can also take the hook and put it around the log in order to make it easier to turn the log. So it's a really, really handy tool. Wouldn't you say so, Andreas?
It's an excellent tool.
Yeah.
I really, really, really like that log loader and log turner.
Yeah. And then
Giving you super strength.
And then from this we also have the XL log support and log holder, which are bigger and sturdier for heavy duty business. And on this, as you can see, we also have the trailer kit, which is available for the B751 Pro. So on this, you can have a bigger variety of accessories to make your milling easier. And we can also mention this.
What kind of motor options do you have on the B751 Pro?
You can have a 15 horsepower Lonkin motor, an 18 horsepower Briggs & Stratton, or an 8 kilowatt electrical motor. And we also have a hydraulic leveler.
Toe board. I got the Spanish one in my head. Toe board, in order to make sure that the log is straight before you do your first cut. But otherwise, in terms of the saw head, the construction is the same as on the B751, so it has all the great functions that we just explained, with the wings on the wheels, the blade guide, the great blade guide. So yeah, it's a really nice sawmill, and very versatile in that you can upgrade it and form it after your projects. Great. Well, we actually have a video about the Bandsaw blades. Oh. We had a visit here from Göran at Backo. And we'll have a look at that, and then we'll head over to the B1001, our biggest bandsaw mill.
Jamen, Backo, vi har ju en lång tradition, sedan 130 år tillbaka har vi funnits. Och vi har en lång tradition av att tillverka sågar i olika utförande. Och det vi framförallt är bäst på, det är materialet som gör att tänderna är vassa. Vi tillverkar i både HSS, alltså snabbstål, och hårdmetall, lite olika material. Men vi är väldigt bra på att göra vassa tänder. Det viktigaste tar vi först. Man måste se till att tänderna är åt rätt håll. Våra blad behöver man vränga för att det ska passa på Logosol. Men titta på sågbladet så att tändernas sågriktning är åt rätt håll innan man börjar såga. För man kan inte såga med ryggen på bladet, det går inte. Sen tycker jag också man ska tänka på matningen. Vi har mätt upp att Ganska normalt för att slippa vågsågning, normal matning, det är 10 meter per minut. Då slipper man vågsågning. Många gånger när bladen är skarpa så kör man för fort för det går så pass lätt. Och då riskerar man att få vågsågning, att inte snittet blir jämnt då. Och jag tycker också att om sågen ska stå en längre stund, kanske en vecka eller flera veckor, så kan man absolut släppa på spänningen på bladet. Men det gör ingen skillnad om bladen står uppspända i några veckor i sträck. Det har ingen betydelse. Men ska sågen ändå stå still ett tag så släpp spänningen. Det sparar sågen också, gör det, och bladet. De kan ligga i ringar eller loops som vi säger då. Det är inget som skadar bladet. Deformation på ett blad som är ihopslaget i en ring, det inträffar först när det har legat i en ring i kanske 30 år. Bladen kan ligga ihopslagna under långa perioder, många år. En sak till som är väldigt viktigt, det är att man spänner upp bladen ordentligt. Våra blad kan man aldrig spänna upp för mycket, utan det är mer att man får tänka på sågen, hur mycket den står pall. Och om man skulle spänna för lite så blir det en väldig skillnad, för då får man ju ofta vågsågning som vi säger, att det blir inget rakt snitt. Sen kan man även få att bladet går av, för det blir så stora krafter i rörelse när det är så pass hög bandhastighet med, så att man måste ha en hög bandspänning. Men Logosols sågar är så stabilt byggda, och vi har även varit med och givit råd innan produktionen började. Så att ställer man in enligt de anvisningar som är på en Logosolsåg och mätaren som är på sågen, så får man rätt bandspänning. Men man behöver aldrig vara rädd för att spänna upp ett blad för mycket. Men det är en väldigt stabil konstruktion som gör att det går att spänna upp ordentligt bra.
That was some interesting information from Göran at Bandsaw, and we are using Bandsaw blades, and we've actually found that the Bandsaw blades are really good blades.
Yeah.
We have all the three versions, the sand cut solid, the bimetal, and the carbide blades, and they fit our Bandsaw mills really well. Mm-hmm. So we've talked about the B751 and the B751 Pro, and of course all the nice features that we have on our Bandsaw mills. The B751, B751 Pro, quite similar, except the B751 Pro can be equipped with a bit more accessories. All the accessories we actually have for our biggest Bandsaw mill, the B1001. And we have the B1001 here behind us. This is actually equipped with the 27 horsepower Lonkin motor. We have the support legs and the log handling kit on this one. And the campaign deals on the Bandsaw mills.
You get, with the B1001 here, you get a blade sharpener and 10 bimetal blades when purchasing it. Yes.
That's great.
Yeah.
And that's also valid for the B751 Pro.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's really good. Take the opportunity to get yourself a Bandsaw mill or a chainsaw mill.
Yeah.
Or both. Or a chainsaw mill and
the more the better.
and the planer molders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, but the 1001, we have a few different motor options. We have the 27 horsepower that we have here. We have the 12 kilowatt electric version, and we also have a 23 horsepower Briggs & Stratton Vanguard version. So the thing about the B1001 is of course that it can handle really large logs. It can mill logs up to 1 meter in diameter, which is quite impressive.
A sturdy piece, you can say.
Yes, and here the log loader and the log turner actually comes very well in play. It's needed when handling these large logs. But everything on the 1001 is designed to handle these large logs. But let's
Start it up.
start it up and,
Yeah.
and make a cut on the 1001 as
Yeah.
well. I'm just gonna go and fold the crane down.
Oh yes.
Just say go.
Ready, go.
That's a massive cut right there.
Yeah. And I could feel this. There was quite a lot of resistance in this log.
Yeah.
I could feel that. Yes. You can turn the other side. See
Just have a look at those all those knots. Well fought.
Yeah. But even though it has a lot of knots, it's not a problem for the 27 horsepower motor. So put it here.
Can put it here for now.
So, but that was the all manual
Yeah.
1001. On this side here, we have the electric. It's the 12 kilowatt electric 1001 equipped with the hydraulics. And this is also equipped with the hydraulic log loader. So with this mill, we have hydraulic functions to load the log and to handle the log on the sawmill itself. It's prepared, it's designed to handle the same size logs as we can mill on the sawmill.
Yeah.
So this hydraulics will not let you down. It's massive and everything is designed to handle large logs. The same type of logs that you can mill on this sawmill.
Yeah.
So what do you say, Pelle? Should we take this for a spin as well?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
You're-
I can just show you a little bit the functions on the hydraulics here. Can show the on the front here we have the clamp. If you film the clamp there, you can see the clamp here.
And as you can see, the log clamp can go really high
Yeah.
and also low. It goes below the log or the cant.
Yeah.
So it's really functional for all sizes of logs, even the large logs, that you can clamp them really high up.
Yeah.
And the same goes for the log supports on the other side.
Yeah. The log dogs on the opposite side.
The log dogs are connected mechanically, which means that they will always stay in the same position. So you don't have to reset them. They will follow each other perfectly all the time, up or down.
Yeah.
So that's also really, really neat.
Yeah, definitely. Because then you just have to look at the front one and then you know.
Yeah, exactly. You know that they will be on the exact same height.
Yeah.
The hydraulic also comes with the log turner, a really powerful chain and a turner.
I think we're gonna cut it on the flat now anyway.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna cut it on the flat, so just put it down. And also it comes with two toe boards.
Toe boards, yes.
We have a front one and a back one. So if you want to, you can lift it up on either side. Or if you need to push the log
Yeah.
back and forth, you can lift it up on both sides.
Yeah.
But I think we can prepare for Gå upp lite till du. Ja, bra.
There.
Nice.
Nice cut.
This log was a bit easier to mill than the other one.
Yeah, quite a bit. There. And now when we have a little bit on the loader, we can just show that a little bit too with the to see the so the loader lifts it's up to 2 tons.
So that's quite impressive.
Yeah.
2,000 kilos.
That's a big log.
So we have the campaign running until
20th of June.
June.
Yeah.
You can find all the campaign deals if you go online. Go to logosol.com. You can download a PDF,
Yeah.
or you can see all the different offers we have in the web shop. Chainsaw mills, 12.5% discount.
Yeah.
We have the CH3 with 50% discount on the
Chip extraction.
chip extractor package. B751,
10% off.
10% off, and the B751 Pro and the 1001.
We have the blade sharpener and 10 HSS or bimetal blades.
That's great.
Yeah.
And of course, we have a lot of different offers on accessories and log handling stuff, and a lot of different products as well. So let's, I don't think we're gonna end just yet, but we have a last video from Bengt-Olof, the founder of Logosol. So this is a bit about how it all started.
När jag kommer igång och sågar, då glömmer jag bort att vi filmar. Jag kommer nästan i en sorts trans när man står där med det här motorljudet och spån som ryker och brädor som kommer fram och så vidare. Det är fascinerande, fast man har gjort det så mycket. Så är det är en fantastisk känsla det här att börja med en stockhög som man successivt förvandlar till en stapel med brädor och plankor. Det är mycket ljud och mycket känsla, mycket dofter som hör ihop med det. Och det märker jag när jag är ute när vi är ute och visar våra produkter. Väldigt många kunder som kommer i närheten reagerar på doften. De börjar minnas hur för många människor i Sverige har jobbat med sågning. Bysågar har ju funnits i varenda by. Och då kommer man ihåg hur man har jobbat med det här och stanna gärna kvar och titta ett tag bara för att få lukta på spån. Och det har jag faktiskt stor förståelse för. Det var ju ganska väl. Här fanns det ju motorsågar och en snickeriverkstad och lite verktyg och så att här var ett bra ställe att mixtra och testa grejer och så. Och lite träd fanns ju lätt tillgängligt och så vidare. Så Hörns har ju betytt mycket så att man kunde kombinera då, typ veckoslut och ledighet med att prova någon idé som man hade haft under veckan. Jordbruket var ju nedlagt, vi hade ju inga kor längre och jag hade ju flyttat hemifrån och bodde i Härnösand. Pappa och mamma var ju fortfarande, de levde ju fortfarande men precis när första prototypen blev klar gick ju pappa bort så han fick ju aldrig se den här. Och det är väl något som han hade nog tyckt att det här hade varit jämans roligt alltså. En solosåg, men han hann inte med det. Han fick göra mycket annat roligt. Ja, jag jobbar med ett projekt som gick ut på att utbilda verkstadsägare i Västernorrland i aluminiumanvändning. Och åkte runt med en pensionerad vd från Gränges Aluminium och tipsa företagare om hur de kunde göra effektivare produkter med hjälp av aluminium, i första hand aluminiumprofiler. Så jag fick lära mig en hel del om den tekniken. Och det är väl kanske förklaring till att det blev aluminium. Det var den enda teknik som jag egentligen var lite duktig på då, jämfört med de flesta, eftersom jag hade fått träning av den här väldigt trevliga pensionerade direktören. Alltså jag började med att försöka sälja den här produkten till återförsäljare. För det var det man första hand tänkte på. Men det gick väldigt trögt. Så att, däremot så visade det sig att så fort vi i något sammanhang visade produkten så fick vi sälja sågbänkar. Så vi började väldigt tidigt med att åka runt på marknader. Inte så mycket mässor utan marknader, typ Åsele marknad och Näske marknad och Mora marknad och Falköpings marknad och alla möjliga marknader och visa upp den här produkten då. Och det ledde ju alltid till massor med beställningar. Det rörde sig om mellan 10 och 15 beställningar så fort vi var ute på en sån här sväng. Och sen var det var det ena och det andra det var då en enkel och anspråkslös annons i tidningen Land med en liten remsa längst ner som man kunde skicka in för att få mer information. Och sen var det här med video. Vi spelade in, vi hade enkel utrustning men det var ju klumpig utrustning på den tiden. Det var ju både en bandspelare och en kamera och några andra grejer också. Men det blev ju film av det. Och sen så kopierade vi över det på VHS-band och skickade ut i stora mängder. Vi skickade faktiskt ut över 50 000 VHS-band under, säg från starten då fram till år 2000 ungefär. I början var ju uppgiften i första hand att övertyga kunderna om att det här var någonting som fungerade. Att man kunde såga eget virke, att man verkligen fick fram plank och brädor och att det inte tog all världens tid. Idag har vi mycket nytta av det. Vi kan ju verkligen hävda att det är inte någon uppfinning, ingen nyhet längre utan snacka om beprövad teknik. 25 år och någonstans mellan 25 och 30 000 sådana här utrustningar som är ute på marknaden och används i de allra flesta fall. Att direkt få kontakt med människor som har haft stor glädje av våra produkter, det har blivit viktigt för mig. Och även känslan när vi säljer utomlands till marknader där vi vet att det här är kanske enda chansen att få fram virke. Så har det ju varit i Ryssland exempelvis. Nu är det rätt många år sedan men jag kommer ihåg det är väl 2003 eller något sånt där. Då kom det en största sortens långtradare från Moskva. Och vi fyllde den till bristningsgränsen med Logosolprylar av alla möjliga slag, främst sågverk då. Och då var känslan att okej, då den där rullar iväg, vad kommer att hända med de här? Vad kommer spånhögarna att vara någonstans? Det kommer att vara hundratals människor som blir beroende av att de här grejerna fungerar. Det var en fantastisk känsla, den får man någon gång nu och då. Vad man tycker känns bra med det här med solosågen och Logosol, förutom då att man har medverkat till att folk har fått förverkliga sina tankar och idéer. Det är ju själva företaget med all personal och att familjen har haft intressanta arbetsuppgifter och den biten. Kanske viss uppskattning också från, till exempel från samhället. Man blir uppmärksammad i olika sammanhang. Det här sista nu med att nominerad till årets företag, jag kommer inte bli årets företagare, men bara att bli påtänkt i de sammanhangen, det är ju naturligtvis inte, det mår man inte dåligt av på något sätt. Ja, det ska vara lätt att såga, annars kan det kvitta. Lätt att såga, annars kan det kvitta. Man kan bara veva så får man en bräda.
There you have it, the story about Logosol. So that was actually all from us. We had one final question, I think, from our YouTube chat. Simon was asking about log load into the F2 Plus. I don't think we're working with it right now, but we are working with new products and product development all the time. So yeah, we have the new mascot. Product development all the time. So you will see many more innovations and future products here from Logosol. I'm very sure about it. So with that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Take care.
All the best.
Bye bye.
Bye.